Good morning. This man has cheated death no less than 4 times. Welcome and good morning to Small Business Matters, where maybe we won't discuss that today, but we do have a guest that is a real entrepreneur. He's in the construction industry, and here at Small Business Matters, as you know, we discuss all things small business. We talk about the businesses themselves. We talk about the entrepreneurs that make them go and grow. So today we have Javier Fernandez from Adonai Construction. Javier, how are you?
Fantastic. Thank you, Carlos.
Welcome to the show. That's your word, fantastic, right?
Fantastic.
You know, I have to say, you're one of the most interesting characters I've ever met. Where are you from originally?
Well, originally I was actually born in Puerto Rico.
Okay. And how long were you there? When did you come over here?
Well, I was raised in Puerto Rico. I was born in Puerto Rico. My mother worked for Delta Airlines executive. And she brought the news home one day and said, well, we're transferring to Miami. And everybody was like, fantastic.
And how old were you at that time?
I was actually 12 years old.
Okay.
12 years old. And we actually said, great, Mom. And my dad was like, okay, so we got to clean houses. It was a whole bunch of adjustments. My father had the business in Puerto Rico, and my mother was kind of, I actually left with my mother first, and everybody stayed behind. I'm a mama's boy, I'll admit it. So yes, she transferred to Miami, and we actually lived our first condo in Calusa, in Kendall.
Okay.
That's when we first started, and her office was over here in Coral Gables, and by Alhambra. Mm-hmm. And she used to travel every morning. I started here. I went to elementary, Calusa Elementary, and so on, and just kind of, it was a little difficult at first, you know. I had to learn English.
I was just going to ask you. So you didn't know English when you came here?
Nothing.
Wow.
So it was a cool challenge. Challenge is the word, actually. Had to learn English. Had to get adequated because with all the people, and I didn't really. Back in the day, Miami actually spoke English.
Okay.
So it was kind of rough, and then back in 1987, mm-hmm. when we actually transferred over here to Miami, and had some interesting moments. I mean, kind of, like I said, I've cheated life a couple of times already. We had an accident type of thing. We actually...
Car accident?
Yeah, I had an accident. Had to return. I was kind of taken to Miami Health Rehabilitation Center over in Old Color Road, and I had to learn how to do everything all over again. I was a very interesting teenager.
I can imagine.
I was creative.
All right.
We're actually 5 of us, 4 girls and me. Like I said, I'm mama's boy.
Where are you? Are you the oldest, the youngest, in the middle?
No, I'm kind of the one before the end.
Okay, all right.
El penúltimo,
all right.
As we say it in Spanish. So yeah, I kind of went through the ups and downs. Went to college up in Gainesville.
You went to the University of Florida?
Yes. Then we
go Gators.
Thank you. And kind of finished that, and then came back to Miami. Did a little bit of Miami, and you can't be like, once you leave to college, you can't come back home. So it was kind of okay. I'm leaving to Puerto Rico again.
Oh, so you went back to Puerto Rico?
Yeah. So I went back to when I finished college.
I wanted to ask you something, because you mentioned that your father had a business in Puerto Rico. What kind of business was it?
Yeah, Adler Royal Machines. He is into typewriters back then.
Okay.
So it was actually interesting because the everything was typewriters, and photocopies machines, and then computer came about. So it's kind of cool. So it was kind of funny because back then in the typewriters, to have more technology advanced, they had little screens on the typewriter
That was a
help
big
you.
thing.
That was a big thing. So it was pretty successful on that part. And then computers came out.
All right, so back to, here you are. You come back from college. You go back to Puerto Rico. What happens then?
Well, I go to Puerto Rico and kind of live life and trying to find myself. And then let's go. I got married. Then we found my wife.
So were you the only one in your family in Puerto Rico at that point, or were there?
Yeah, at that point I was the only one in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
I stayed with my grandparents.
Okay.
Yeah,
You got married?
Yeah, I got married, and they moved to Orlando. That's when
Your grandparents?
No, I moved. Like
Your family or just you?
Just me.
Okay.
I got married and stuff in Orlando. I mean, in Puerto Rico, and then I flew back to Orlando.
Okay.
And then I started my life in Orlando, and that's where.
Which is San Juan #2, right?
Yeah,
Basically.
exactly. Every Puerto Rican goes to Orlando
All
now.
right.
Instead of New York, they actually go to Orlando. So from Orlando, I actually started working left and right. I mean, I got into corporate America. We did. I started working for Universal Studios.
Okay. What did you do for them?
In Universal Studios, I actually did. I was a vacation planner.
Okay.
Interesting, right? I was a party coordinator when I was back in college.
All right.
Over in my fraternity.
All right. We'll hear that story at another time.
For sure. That's one for the books.
Okay.
So I lived in Orlando, started working for Universal Studios. Then in 2005, kind of everything came to a halt because from 2000 to 2005, I worked for Universal Studios, and then Universal Studios sold to NBC.
Okay.
So I guess we had a nice layoff, so I had to find something to do, and it all started. I got into construction when I bought a house, and everybody around me needed wood floors and all that. And I was saying, so my wife wanted wood floors, of course. So I was like, all right, no work, no job.
Did you know anything about construction at that point?
I had nothing.
Okay.
I actually.
This is a true entrepreneur here.
Yeah, I had nothing. I had no idea. But I went to school for, public relations and a little bit of minor on marketing.
Okay.
So I was out of a job. I had a new house. I went through the 2001 9/11 situation. Plus, I worked for Universal Studios, so it was really kind of
Right.
shell shocked on that part. I was like, wow, and of course, my wife wanted wood floors and crown molding and everything in the
Brand new house?
Yeah, it was a brand new house.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my God, how am I going to do this?
You have no job at this point.
I had no job at this moment. I had nothing, and I found I met a gentleman that actually had a little hiccup himself from Colombia, and he moved to Orlando, kind of escaping the guerrilla whatever thing from Colombia, and he was an architect. Plus, he was phenomenal. He was so detailed. And I was like, man, it's a pleasure. I have this situation. I need to put wood floors in my house. And we kind of started a relationship. And he's like, don't worry about it, Javier. I'll help you out. I was like, oh my God, this is perfect. So we actually kind of bought the materials, and it was explaining to me, and he was showing me, I'll get this done for you. And then when I saw him, the way he worked, that's when I was like, remodeling, construction. Wow, I love this thing. And it just sparked something inside me. So I was like, this is perfect. I was like, man, I'll give you the world.
So what made you think? You watched him work, right? And you said, what made you think I can do this?
Because it was like a team effort.
Okay.
I said, listen, I'm starting a company. And he's like, what? Yes, and I want you to be in it, and I'm going to give you everything. So I was like, and then after he was done in my house, of course, I was like, everybody in my neighborhood needs to know this.
Okay, so what'd you do? Being a marketing guy?
So I'm being the marketing guy. I kind of sparked everything. I was like, just do your thing. I'll take care of the rest.
Okay.
I started talking to my front neighbor. My front neighbor came to my house. My next door neighbor came to my house. The street behind came to my house. Everybody was coming to my house. And it was like, instant hit. I want it. Perfect. Here's your estimates, and we'll get it done. Once I'm finished this house, you're next. Once I'm finished this house, you're next. And
That's how it all started.
that's how it all started.
Wow.
And then I was like, okay, I need to become a contractor ASAP. And then that was my first wall. It doesn't come that easy. And I was like, all right, so you have to work under somebody in order for you to get licensed.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I know you have to take a test and all
Yeah,
that.
you have to take the test, and the thing is that you cannot just become a contractor just because you say, I want to become a contractor. And I was like, why? It's like, it doesn't work like that. You get your license, and you have to work under somebody for at least 5 years.
Wow. So who did you work for?
Well, I had an opportunity to work with a couple people. I worked for Venezuelan guy that actually was a contractor. He taught me a lot. So I went from him to somebody else, and then I started getting my experience. Then 2008 came around. Oh yeah, sorry. Let me back up a little bit. So it was like I started a
So
construction.
it was from 2005?
Yeah, like when everything was
Right.
kind of.
That's when it
then
all
I had
started.
2005, and I didn't really start a company until like
Right.
2007 or so, 2006. So I was working with somebody else.
Right.
And then 2007 came around, and I was like, "That's it. This is my turn." So I went. I talked to somebody at the city hall in Orlando, and they gave me the opportunity. I'll get you. Go get the test, and we'll work something out. So he kind of put me on a place so I can study and get tested. Finally got the test, took the state license, and I got approved. And I passed. And I was like,
What changed then? Then what happened?
then that was it. I was like, okay, let me get started. So of course I talked to I hate to talk, so I'm a little shy.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
So we started talking. I started talking to everybody. I'm starting in the company.
When you say everybody, who?
Anybody I met.
Okay.
Anybody I walked into, hey, how you doing, man? If you ever need any help with the house, this and that, I'm here to help you. And that's how it all started. And not only that, it's like God had something for me, because then, what's it called? The hurricanes.
Yeah.
4 hurricanes came through Orlando. Never seen before. 4, not 1, not 2, not 3. 4 hurricanes. It all started with Hurricane Charlie. And it's like I had the right company at the right time, at the right moment.
Right.
And everything took off from there.
Wow.
And it was like...
So was it like one of these situations you had more business that you could handle?
I had too much business.
Right.
I was like, whoa, this is not... I cannot handle this. So
what did you grow? Did you... What
I
happened?
grew.
Okay.
I was telling people... you need work, man? Come work for me. I got you. Started buying trucks, started buying everything, and it was just phenomenal. We had a great time.
What does that feel like when you go from really 0 to 1,000,000 miles an hour?
Because it's not like I had a chance.
Right.
Like I didn't have a chance to even breathe. I was like, hurricane's coming tomorrow.
Right.
And we're like, oh, okay, fantastic. So, not to say, I mean, it was a rough time.
Right.
I mean, for me personally, also. I mean, I had a brand new house and stuff, and everything was kind of damaged. So it kind of, but it's fine because I had the perfect company to work for this situation, and that's how it all started. And I was having work in Lake Worth, Orlando, you name it. Everywhere, and people, I got in contact with an accountant, because that's when I was like, what do I do with all this? That's when I started learning about business, and I had a little bit of knowledge as far as corporations and stuff like that, but
so that was a big, like,
nothing can get you ready for.
So there you grew a lot as a person, an entrepreneur, I imagine, as a business, as a
I learned. It was a fantastic situation to grow into after being laid off, after having a house, a new wife, everything. It was like my life was kind of on a hold, and then a solution came about, and we actually kind of God gave me a like, don't worry, I got you. Here's 4 hurricanes for you, and have a good day. Don't come to me again. So I was like, fantastic. Thank you for that opportunity. But then 2008 came around. Construction was the first thing to go.
All right.
So it's like...
You were still in Orlando at this point?
Yeah, I was in Orlando.
Okay,
Well,
okay.
remember, we had a company, and then...
So were you still, before 2008, were you at this same pace? Just
Well, yeah, I still had contracts that hadn't even finished.
okay.
And then I kind of lasted after 2008, and the economy crumbled, and people were losing houses left and right. I kind of held to 2010,
Okay.
and that's when I was like, I can't do it anymore. So that was another experience that
So
Wow.
it's amazing that you went from 0
to 100,
and then to 0 again.
and then to 0 again.
So how did you recover from that?
I ask myself that question every time, and I ask God, and I said, "Thank you for this," because it was a shell shock of an experience. It was just crazy.
So did it happen like over time? So 2008, and you saw things getting worse and worse and worse and worse, or was it a full stop immediately? Or
It was a full stop.
Okay.
I mean, remember, 2008 came around, and presidency, all this stuff, all this
Right.
craziness, and I still had work, and I still had.
So you had work contracts from before?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I mean, it was such a, like, I remember, 100 miles an hour. So from no contracts to 50
Yeah.
contracts in a matter of nothing.
Right.
So I said, thank God, I had a little bit of reserves to cope with that situation, and then 2010 was
The
my last.
reserves ran out.
Yeah, everything ran out.
Okay.
Kind of got in a real bind as far as economically wise.
Okay.
But I fulfilled all my obligations. I finished the last contract, and I was like, this is it. I can't go any further.
So then what did you do?
So I went back to corporate America.
Okay.
I got a divorce, which is, but I mean, we're great friends
Okay.
today. Then
Did you have kids at that time?
I had one daughter.
Okay.
My main daughter,
right.
Stephanie, my love in my life. And I was looking for things.
So corporate America, where?
I
Where
went
did
back to go. I went to start working at a budget rent a car.
Okay.
Over at Orlando International Airport.
Right.
50, 60 million people walk there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a big
year.
airport.
So it was fantastic. So it was like a good relief. Then I had the opportunity to go to Tampa because another car rental company kind of was looking for me and offered me a position in Orlando, in Tampa. I was like, I got nothing in Orlando left.
Right.
So let's go to Tampa.
So at this point, you're alone?
At this point, I'm on myself,
Okay.
my daughter, and my ex-wife. Went back to Puerto Rico.
Okay.
I found myself kind of pinching for pennies. Thank God for that Budweiser saving little bottles that you have in Busch Gardens.
Right.
That's where I live from. I used to go open it up and go buy milk.
Wow.
So it was a rough time.
Okay.
So, but then I kind of was I for some reason I was blessed that my mouth, of course. I was talking to the right guy at the right moment perfectly. And he offered me, listen, we have a position in Tampa that's opening up. So we did the opening for a new company, Fox Rent-A-Car. So I went to Fox Rent-A-Car as a supervisor and to manage the new office.
Was it at the Tampa airport? Or?
Tampa.
Okay.
Tampa Airport. And great. Things didn't work out as far as what they promised. But it was a great opportunity for me to get out of Orlando and see new things. I met somebody else, FHA, for the Windows company, and I started doing marketing in BJ's.
For the Windows company?
For the Windows company.
So you were the guy at BJ's selling the windows.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, well, you're interested in Windows? And that was me. I went through that.
And how did you do there?
Man, I do fantastic.
Yeah?
We actually did. I'm I don't know if I can say
Since you're
this.
shy, right?
Yeah, I'm a little shy, and I don't know how to talk to people sometimes. But they gave me an opportunity. So we were in Costco's, we were in BJ's.
Was it pure commission? Did they pay you a salary? How did it work?
Yeah, it was kind of like a salary thing, and for every lead that you brought in, you get commissions of that, which is good.
So you didn't actually make the sale; you just got the leads.
Yeah, I put the people.
Right,
that
because
people
they have to go out
needed,
to the home and measure and all that.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I'm the one who brought the people.
All
Same
right.
thing that I did when I started my business. I bring people to the place.
Okay.
And I make the dreams come true. So fantastic work there.
So are you still in Tampa at this point?
I'm in Tampa at this point because I left the rental company to FHA.
Okay.
And then Miami office for FHA was not doing well, and they asked for the Tampa office because they had a star that needed help in Miami.
All right.
And I went to Miami for help for a week. We did phenomenal. Phenomenal. That I'm on my way back to Tampa. I mean, to making a long story short, of course. I'm on my way back to Tampa, and the owner calls me, Javier, would you be interested in helping out in Miami? That guy was not even done with that sentence, and I was already on my way back to Miami.
Wow.
And calling my parents, Mom, I'm coming home. And my mom was like, oh, shit. So, yeah, and then I came back to Miami, and phenomenal, great work. We did home shows, we did Costco's, we did home BJ's, and great.
So financially, how are you doing at this point?
I'm still struggling because you make
recovering. You're recovering.
But I'm living. I'm recovering. I'm doing my dues.
Okay.
I'm paying my dues. So I'm things are moving up. And kind of.
What year is this?
I'm talking 2012, 2013.
All right.
I had the opportunity to go meet my actual wife in the weirdest way. I went to visit my friend Johnny Ribero that I hadn't seen in like 20 years over by Dayland area. And I said, hey, I'm in Miami. Yeah, Javier, come on and see me. And I went to visit him one night, and on my way up the stairs to his condo right next to Dayland, I see the most beautiful woman come out, which is his neighbor. And I was like, who's that?
Wait a minute, you didn't go up and talk to her right away? Knowing you?
No.
Okay.
I couldn't, because I was there to see my friend, of course, and then his wife was there, and I was like, but I kind of threw it at her saying, who's that? And that's how it all started, and thank God I did that. She is my cornerstone. We actually invited her to come with us because actually my friend's wife told me, no, she doesn't talk to nobody. She doesn't really, and I was like, give me a second. Then I went and talked to her. And so it was fantastic. She actually, I convinced her to come and have a couple wines with us and stuff like that and get to know us.
And the rest is history?
And the rest is history, my friend. After that, I mean, ever since I met this woman, I never left her. I mean, we never separated, ever. From the day I met her. It was crazy. Yeah, you don't want to know like that. To what time we were at my friend's house too late, and actually I kind of stayed over at his house, and then the next morning, there was a soccer event that my friend's son was going to, and I told his wife, do you think I can invite her? Oh, she never comes. Oh, give me a second. So I went back down there and invited her, and she agreed. She's like, all right, I'll go with you guys. And it was all history after that. She actually came with us.
So tell me about Adonai. What is Adonai all about? What are you doing? When did you start? When did you get into
in 2015, it was kind of like a transition. I went from Windows to marketing air conditioning, Solar Bear, and did fantastic there. And then Solar Bear. We did all the BJ's, the Costco's, all that. AC working okay? AC working okay? I did all that. And then I had the opportunity. I met my partner Julio Cruz, and it was like a match made in heaven. From the moment I met, I said, "Listen, I just want to learn." He's a state licensed contractor also, and I want to learn everything. I want to get back into what I really started.
Right.
And give me the opportunity. And he's like, "Let's do it." And wow, it was amazing. We actually fabricate our things. We don't third
When you
party.
say our things, what do you fabricate?
We do modern aluminum gates, modern aluminum fences. We do everything. And we've been blessed with the Picasso of welders, first of all. I was blessed.
The Picasso of welders.
Picasso of welders, guys.
Wow.
This is phenomenal. He's been with us since the beginning.
So that's amazing. So you fabricate.
Yeah, we do everything. We fabricate from go. We have a fantastic project manager named Ribero. He's my everything. I tell him.
Don't
every
tell
day.
that to your wife.
Well, I tell him, listen, if I ever turn on you, definitely might be with Ribero. She said, Javier, please. But I tell him all the time too. I love you. You're fantastic. Thank you for everything that you give me. He's been in the industry for 40 years.
Wow.
40 years, and he came to work with us. It was fantastic. Like I said, my word is fantastic.
So what's popular right now? What's
really working on is the modern gates.
okay? What is a modern gate? What
Modern gates, we have tongue and grooves. We have horizontal aluminums. We have with the horizontal bars, with the gaps, depending on gaps. We have an interesting stuff. I mean, if you go to Adonai, AdonaiInc.com, I have plenty of pictures there so you can actually visualize. Or you can contact us always at my office, which I'm pretty sure
we're going to give the phone number before we conclude. But I'm going to tell you something that please don't hate me for it.
Here it comes.
I still have a chain link fence.
Interesting. Well,
so I'm definitely a potential
don't feel
client
bad
for you.
because we take care of all types of fences. I'm
Right.
talking chain link fences,
Right.
vinyl chain link fences, PVC fencing, aluminum fencing, wood fencing. I mean, remember, there's a struggle in Miami because some associations are very not lenient at all. This is what we want, this is what you need. So we'll work with any association. We work with all types of associations, and I love to deal with the hard ones because those are the ones that actually make my life just. It makes my job worth it because if I can accomplish that, if I can overcome those type of associations, it gives me pride, because like. Yeah, we did it. We do permits. We take care of permits in Miami Beach. Also, this I had the most amazing permit lady.
Okay.
Her name is Jimena. She is phenomenal. She has helped me out in everything.
So talking about permits, I imagine that can be a challenge in some cities that I've heard.
Some?
Right. Some you don't have to mention them. Some cities are tougher than others. But what are some of the other challenges that you have? Because I hear. During the pandemic, material shortages and stuff like that, and I don't know on the day-to-day, what are your challenges?
That was another challenge for my life. I mean, if I could tell you my life experience, I mean, we definitely need more time than what we have.
No, of course, and we'll have you back for sure.
For sure. The pandemic was actually a blessing for me.
Okay.
I mean, it's tough, but the pandemic was actually some time that I actually got another chance of what happened to me in 2008. It's like, okay, recheck. What do we do now? And shortage everywhere. We managed our time. I was lucky enough, to get some supplies. I had some great relationships with distributors, and we did our thing. We actually a lot of wood, a lot of aluminum. I mean, the wives were on her husbands, like, there's no excuses now. You're not at work. You're here. We got to get this done. And it kind of worked out for the best. But it was definitely some challenges. Going back to what you were asking about the cities, the city, Miami Beach, all of Miami-Dade and all the different districts, everything has a challenge. But I was blessed that to go through that experience.
Right.
And with my permit lady and pretty much us and my workers, everybody, we all put together and we just get things done. And when they say no, we ask why. And we tackle things on straight. And my main advice for small businesses is personalize everything and face front everything. Put your face up front. Be out there. Don't just sit behind the scenes, especially with technology nowadays.
Okay.
I recommend just meet people. Go out there. Talk to customers. Deal with situations personally, not by assistance, not through.
Interesting. So you, as the president of the company, you are very much still in front of the client?
I'm the jack of all trades.
Okay.
I take care of customers. I do estimates myself. I mean, I have some help,
Right.
of course, but I deal with things. So I know when my project manager calls me, Javier, we have a situation about this. What about that? I say, no, the customer needed this. The customer needed that. I actually know. I don't pass the ball. I don't pass the baton and say, oh yeah, call this person because he's the one who dealt with it.
Right.
No, I'm like, what's the situation? Let me take care of it. The customer, I talked to her personally. She wanted this way. She wanted that. Let's just get it done.
Okay.
I'm a problem solver.
You're a problem solver.
That's
I hear that a lot of entrepreneurs in general talk about that, how they are problem solvers. Anyway, thanks for that tidbit of advice. I thought it was excellent. Believe it or not, we're done. The half hour is over, and I know we just touched the tip of the iceberg.
yeah. We need some more time.
We need some more time, and maybe
Because I want to put some things into detail.
okay. So you know what? Before we stop the show, give your phone number and. So people call you because I've seen your work. You do excellent work.
Thank you. I have a great assistant. Her name is Anya, and you can always talk to her. She's always available. The phone number is 305. She also has some help with Donald, but Anya is my main person. That she's phenomenal. Number is 305-345-1919. Number again is 305-345-1919. Like I'm leaving a message.
There you go. Of course. Thanks, Javier. Thanks for being on the
Thank
show.
you,
Really
Carlos, for
appreciate
everything.
it. Maybe next time we'll talk about those 4 times you cheated death. We only talked about one.
Yeah, I mean, we only have enough time, but
All right.
but I definitely give you enough
right.
insights. Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here on Small Business Matters, and we'll see you next time.